I'm Lorne Baxter, and I invented the Internet.
Don't tell me words don't matter. I have a dream, just words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, just words. We have nothing to fear but fear itself, just words, just speeches.
Barrak Hussein Obama. Within the Democratic Party, that name represents a new hope for some and an ominous unknown for others. Obama, the audacity. A junior senator who aspires to lead the most powerful nation in the world. His name alone has created major divisions in the political landscape. Barrak Hussein Obama.
Will face in 2008.
There you go. Why don't we just ask Osama Obama, since he won by such a big amount.
Then they get President B. Hussein Obama in there, and he has massive majorities in the House and Senate.
So why do you keep saying B. Hussein Obama?
Well, that's his name.
But what's in a name? For many, his name does raise the question. When we are at war with Islamic terrorism, can Americans elect a man with not one, not two, but three Islamic names?
It's shocking that he's probably going to be our next president, President Hussein.
Barrak's good looks and charisma have drawn the support of numerous young people and the bulk of the liberal entertainment establishment.
Yes, we can. The opportunity.
But how much do people know about the man National Journal voted the most liberal senator in Congress for 2007? Without researching, very little is known about Obama's background. But when an individual is running for the office of the president, every aspect of their life must be scrutinized to safeguard not only our nation, but the world as a whole. These are the footnotes of interest from the life of Barrak Hussein Obama. Fact: Obama's father is a Muslim from Kenya, and his mother, a white American. Fact: Obama attended a Muslim school for 2 years in Jakarta, Indonesia. Fact: Obama has a vague voting record.
Over 100 times you voted present instead of yes or no. Why would you over 100 times vote present?
John,
I mean, every one of us, you criticized Hillary, you criticized me for our votes. We've cast hundreds and hundreds of votes. What you're criticizing her for, by the way, you've done to us, which is you pick this vote and that vote out of the hundreds that we've cast. And all I'm saying is, what's fair is fair. And what if I had just not shown up? Wait, let me finish. What if I had just not shown up to vote on things that really matter to this country?
Fact: a large Cuban flag featuring a portrait of the communist mass murderer Che Guevara is displayed on the wall of Obama's Houston campaign office. Fact: Obama refuses to wear the American flag as a pin.
I won't wear that pin on my chest. Instead, I'm going to try to tell the American people what I believe will make this country great.
Fact: Obama has refused to place his hand over his heart during the national anthem. Fact: Obama has attended Chicago's United Trinity Church of Christ for over 20 years.
This pastor has been Reverend Jeremiah Wright, the man who performed the Obama's marriage ceremony, and the man Obama credits for the title of his book, The Audacity of Hope.
I don't think that my church is actually particularly controversial.
Fact: Obama's wife Michelle implied that she hadn't been proud of her country until Barrak started leading in the race.
First time in my adult life, I am proud of my country because it feels like hope is finally making a comeback. For the first time in my adult life, I am proud
Fact:
of my country.
The pastor of Obama's church, Reverend Jeremiah Wright, was described by Obama as his spiritual mentor. Spiritual mentor is no small title. If Obama aspires to become the President of the United States, then isn't it fair to ask what he has been learning from this mentor for over 20 years?
Barrak knows what it means to be a black man living in a country and a culture that is controlled by rich white people. The government lied about inventing the HIV virus as a means of genocide against people of color, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America that's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America.
Senator Obama, I want to begin by asking you about Don Imus. You have condemned his remarks about the women's basketball team at Rutgers. Let me ask you pointedly, do you think he should be fired?
I don't think MSNBC should be carrying the kinds of hateful remarks that Imus uttered the other day. And, you know, he has a track record of making those kinds of remarks.
So he should be off the air, off of MSNBC and off of CBS, off the air completely in your judgment?
Ultimately, you guys are going to have to make that view. He would not be working for me.
In recent news, Barack Obama has come under fire for his association with Reverend Jeremiah Wright.
Do you repudiate the man? Do you repudiate the comments? Do you repudiate both?
No, I would not repudiate the man. As I said, this is somebody who I have known for 17 years.
Although Reverend Wright has been encouraged to avoid interviews, he did make a brief appearance on Fox's Hannity and Combs.
He doesn't know anything more about theology than I know about brain surgery. So,
well, Reverend, here's my point.
No, let me finish. No, here's my point to you. If you're not going to talk about theology in context, if you're not going to talk about liberation theology that came out of the 60s, systematized black liberation theology that started with Jim Cone in 1968,
Reverend,
and the writings of Cone and the writings of Dwight Hopkins and the writings of womanist theologians and Asian theologians and Hispanic theologians.
Reverend, I got to get this.
Then you can't talk about the black values.
But I'm going to tell you this. Listen,
do you know liberation theology, sir? Do you know liberation theology?
I actually studied. I studied theology. I went to a seminary and I studied Latin.
No,
I can go.
I said, do you know black liberation theology?
I'm very aware of what you're calling black liberation. But let me get my question out.
No, I didn't ask you what I'm calling. I said, do you know black theology?
Reverend, I'm going to give you a chance to answer your question.
How many of Cone's books have you read?
Reverend,
how many of Cone's books have you
read?
Most viewers took one thing away from this interview. Reverend Wright is rude. But beyond his remarkable lack of etiquette, Reverend was saying something that was easily overlooked. Let's look again.
No, I said, do you know black liberation theology?
I'm very aware of what you're calling black liberation, but let me get my question out.
No, I didn't ask you what I'm calling. I said, do you know black theology?
Reverend, I'm going to give you a chance to answer your question.
How many of Cone's books have you read?
Reverend?
How many of Cone's books have you read?
Wright insists that Mr. Hannity cannot even have a discussion with him without first understanding liberation theology and black liberation theology, according to the theologian Dr. James Cone. Liberation theology exploded onto the Central American political landscape as a Marxist strategy for undermining the teachings of legitimate Catholicism in hopes of expanding government control. Pope John Paul condemned the humanist doctrine, which had produced numerous socialist revolutionaries throughout the region. Communist mass murderer Che Guevara was even portrayed as a Christ type in liberation propaganda. Here we find our first connection to Obama. Historically, Marxism has always expanded government control, with programs like nationalized healthcare, gun control, and welfare, all of which are part of the Democratic Party's platform. And again, Che Guevara appears in Obama's campaign. Black liberation theology is an extension of the Marxist liberation theology that exclusively speaks to a negative African-American experience. Dr. James Cone, Ph.D., defines black liberation theology in his book. The following is an excerpt. Black theology refuses to accept a God who is not identified totally with the goals of the black community. If God is not for us and against white people, then he is a murderer, and we had better kill him. The task of black theology is to kill gods who do not belong to the black community. Black theology will accept only the love of God which participates in the destruction of